So my college experience ended about 2 years ago, and as much as I try to repress it like most of my life, LinkedIn refuses to let me forget it. As a Zoomer, it was always expected that I would go to college because that's what most of the adults in my life believed I needed in order to make it in the world. Now, as future people in current year, we all know that having a piece of paper that states you were able to perform adequately in a classroom doesn't mean much. I very much remember my parents showing me a very specific SNL skit. I wonder if that skit's the reason van life is so popular now. Back on topic, while college was always expected, it's not really something that hits you until high school, and at least in the high school I went to, they did a pretty awful job of prepping you for higher education. Like, unless it was a dual enrollment class, most of the teachers treated students, even through senior year when most of us were legal adults, like kindergartners. Wait, this video is supposed to be about college. So I personally went to community college and then transferred to a 4-year university. So a few highlights of my time in community college include freaking out one of my professors with Slipknot, having a few classes I signed up for get cancelled and having to find a new one the same day that registration was set to close, joining the Dead Smokers Society without actually smoking myself. It sounds a lot cooler than it actually was. And lastly, playing a ton of Smash Bros. Now, I didn't really do much in community college, as one of my professors would say I was a campus-to-car student. That was until the last year I spent there, where I befriended the group of guys who would play Smash Bros in the cafe. Max, Nick, if you guys somehow see this, I hope you're doing well. And that's honestly where my fondest memories of community college lie. Sitting in the corner of the cafe, someone bring in their Wii U, and we play Smash for hours. Honestly, I skipped class sometimes just to play more Smash Bros. It was bad. If you guys have experienced the launch of Smash Ultimate in that room, speaking of Smash Ultimate, I just wanted to throw in that my friend did a whole presentation on Smash Bros. For our public speaking class. Didn't really have any place to put that, so it fit here good enough. There was also the food, but I'll come back to that later. So after playing Smash Bros. More than studying, it was time for me to go off to a 4-year. So regrettably, my time at university did not include much Smash Bros., but I was able to meet a group of other furry misfits to pull me out of being a loner asshole. Some of the highlights of university for me included not paying $700 for a parking pass, like good lord, why? I hope it's different now, but when I was figuring out what to do for transportation, my options were pay $700 to park decently close to my classes, pay $200 to park a few miles away from campus, or park for free at a garage and spend $100 to ride the light rail to a stop roughly 30 feet from the $700 parking garage. It should be pretty obvious which option I chose. Side note, but honestly, riding the light rail into campus was one of my favorite parts about university. Just chill out for a bit, listen to some music, just an overall relaxing ride into campus. I'm honestly jealous of places that have great public transportation. As you may have picked up on from my video on commuting to work, driving sucks. I keep getting distracted, so I didn't live in the dorms obviously, so I can't say much about that, but what I can talk about is the food. So my university had a lot of food options, but because I'm incredibly basic, I pretty much ate Burger King every day. In my defense, it was fast in between my classes. Now, while the food options were great, I will say community college was a bit better for food, but that was mostly because me and my friends would leave campus and go all over the place for food. Speaking of going all over, the actual classrooms. So I always tried my best to plan my classes around the route I'd have to take to get to them. One thing I highly recommend to new students would be to go down to campus and walk your route, get a good idea of where you're going. This is something that really helped me out 90% of the time I was in university. Though the other 10% where it didn't help was when one of my classes changed buildings 3 separate times within the first few weeks of class. Now, I've been playing out this part for as long as I could because I still get flashbacks from this, but no video on college is complete without talking about the bookstore. Thankfully, a vast majority of my experiences with my college bookstores were only expensive, instead of expensive and painful like most people, typically in the form of having to buy a textbook for a course and use exactly one page from that textbook. I saw that book and it's rotting in my desk drawer. Highly recommend getting used books whenever you can. Only positive experience with the bookstore was when one of my professors offered extra credit if you had a physical copy of the workbook. Basically paid $30 for an extra 5%. And I still haven't recovered from that. Now, onto some highlights. Me and the other furries funding a brick to be added to a walkway to simply state that there were furries on campus. When one professor decided to be cool and make the textbook he wrote free for the entire class. I'm also 90% sure college is where my enjoyment of writing about niche topics started, as I received a liberal arts degree, Bad idea. So I mostly got to write about whatever I wanted to. Hell, I spent an entire semester writing a paper on World of Warcraft because I could explain in-game communication. Lastly, I want to leave off with some real talk, as there's a chance that someone watching this is in college and needs to hear this. Talk to your professors if you're struggling. 9 times out of 10, they will be more than happy to help you. Chances are they are constantly bugging the class about their office hours, so you should go to them. Just make sure you go to the right building. Totally never happened to me, I swear. So, yeah, I've been Rowan. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next week. Like, unless it was a dual enrollment class, most of the teachers treated the students, even got to experience the Smash of Smash Ultimate. So after playing Smash Bros. More than stuttering, speak of the devil. Some of the highlights of university for me include not paying $700 for a parking pass like a good lord. Thankfully, a vast majority of my experiences with it. Phone.